Previously, I went over what parts I'm going to put into the plane and my aspirations for it. This is the next part where I'm going to work out the balance and everything else for the plane. Now, there are certain givens. I've put the motor in the back of the plane using that extended mount, and the ESC has just been placed here. For the moment, I'm not sticking anything in. This is simply to check balance. So motor's in, mount's in, ESC's in. The next thing I've got to do on the bottom of the plane is just place the servos in. Now, as you can see, these servos are too big to fit the slots exactly, but I just need to get the balance. So that one will go approximately there. And this is really rough. Just so I know, it's a sanity check, really. That's what I'm going to do. And in each case, just going to use a bit of masking tape just to stick these in to make certain, well, to hopefully have them not fall out on me. So there's the servos placed in position. In this case, I will have to cut a little bit of foam. I've checked the depth of these servos and they exactly match the depth of the holes they've got. So I've just got to extend the slot a little bit just to make them fit. So that's an easy job. That's an easy task. I'll just have to map around the outside and just cut as necessary just to ensure that they sit into the wing properly. So there's a bit of tape holding them in. This is where the ESC and the ESC and its controller go. And in there, we're going to fit let's fit the I've put together the flight controller. It's a 3-layer board, and that will be fitted here. So again, a bit of tape just to stop it moving about. And I'm going to fit the GPS on top of the board itself. And what I'll do is I'll fit in a little bit of copper tape underneath that just to help isolate the GPS from the flight controller. But that's the position of that. Over on the wing, I'll be putting the crossfire receiver away from everything else. Crossfire's 868 can really muck up a GPS, so you want to keep it away. So that's where the crossfire will go. They're very light, so they don't make a lot of difference. What else do I need to add? Oh yes, this is the camera and O3 module all fitted. That's a magnetic mount in there, so that locks into place. So that's will have to go on the front of the plane. So we'll just fit that there. Other things to fit, I don't have to worry about the LEDs. I can just fit them as needed. We'll need the rear tail planes. Again, this is just a rough and ready, just to check that things are going to not only fit in place physically, but also work electrically. Balance-wise, work. Not only fit in place, but the balance will work. So we've got receiver, we've got flight controller, it's GPS, we've got the ESC underneath, we've got the motor on the back, we've got the camera on the front. The last thing to worry about is the battery placement. Now, if I put two 6S batteries in the front, I would not be able to balance it. But my plan, as I said initially, is to put one battery here in the rear compartment area, and they supply a bit here to fit it. So there'll be a battery there. Put a bit of tape just to help hold it in place. I just want it not to move. And there's going to be a battery somewhere here in the front. Again, battery strap. So hopefully that will give me a chance to balance it. I'll just keep that in place there. And then we put the covers on, because they do weigh a little bit. Not that they make a big difference. And the servos are in place. Everything's in place now, pretty much. As I say, the LEDs weigh next to nothing. So the Dolphin has points of balance which are correct, and they're just under the wings here. So if I put my fingers on the balance, oh, look at that. That is ever so slightly nose heavy, but certainly completely adjustable with the position of this. So if I move that back 5 millimeters, let's try that again. If anything, that's tail heavy, but we're in easy adjustable range, which means this idea of having a battery here and a battery here is definitely going to work. And I'll just have a cable that will parallel these two. And it occurs to me I've got some 3S 2200s, which could go, one could go here and one could go here, and I could serial connect them to get 6S as well. So there's options here. The next thing I'm going to do is cut the slots for the servos and fit them into the elevons. I've already worked these a lot to loosen them up. Stick the motor in and attach it to the ESC. This also needs to get glued down as well, but I'm not gluing anything, attaching anything permanent until I absolutely know it's where it's going to be. Obviously, we're going to have some wiring between the flight controller and the O3 at the front. And there's a little slot down the side here for those cables to go in. They're very carefully supplied a little slot, so we can do that. The only other electronics bit is the USB adapter, which is on a fly lead. I'll probably fit that on the side here, out the way, on the side here, on the side there. I think we're in good shape. I think we're going to have a nice successful build. So this is just a close-up of the nose and how I fit the O3. First I fit a small heat sink on the top. Then on the bottom there's a supply panel with a 10mm hole cut in to supply a magnet which matches the front. Magnet in the nose lines up and it holds the O3 nice and securely. And here's the servo. I hold the servo that's up to the hole and just mark around the outside gently with the blade. Then I cut down to the level required and cut them out. That always leaves a rough bottom, so I use a Dremel with a small abrasive tool just to basically melt the bottom of the foam so it's smooth. And that allows me to mount the servo in the position I want. These servos are a tad thicker than the ones that normally you'd use. It is a little bit prominent, but that's fine. It's on the underside. And this is the TBS crossfire aerial. I'm just laying it up where I want it on the wing. Lay a bit of tape down, draw around the hole I want. And then using the scalpel, just cross hatch around the inside and using needle nose pliers to pull out the individual blocks. I'm not going too deep. This is not a very deep hole I need. and you can see it leaves this sort of really rough and horrible finish that you can't really glue anything to. So again, it's time to bring out the Dremel, this time with a slightly wider abrasive tool, and just gently use it to flatten off the base. And you can see you can get a nice smooth finish there, which is great for sticky tape to attach to. Just checking the fit there. Then there's the aerial to consider, and I'm just drawing the length out and where I want the aerial to pass vertically through the wing. Now I've got one of these hot wire cutter tools that I got from eBay cheaply. They're great for making holes. So there's the hole through the wing, nice and neat. It melts it away nicely. And then I just ease it out to open until the aerial fits properly, and then slice a small channel for the wire, and you can see on the top it's nice and neat. Fitting the motor, I use E6000, which is absolutely brilliant for sticking EPO foam because it's a little bit flexible. Put a little bit out on a piece of foil, there's a yogurt lid, and then using a disposable wooden tool, just put that around where it's going to join in. Push it home and just wipe off the excess. And that needs a good day, day and a half to set off. So just leave it there to run.